Hey, alright, what's up? It's the Purple Yeti. Hey, he's back again. He is. Who's the Purple Yeti? Hey, it's me. It's Casey College Game Day. Guess what? It is another beautiful week of the summer. I'm back with my ridiculous moniker. I have my Kansas State Pac-Man shirt on, celebrating the Big 12. Feeling a little bold, so I got my Diet Dr. Pepper 10. Wait, that's Dr. Pepper 10. Anyway. I'm feeling very sporty. There's a lot of sports going on right now, but it's mainly televised, I guess. You can see it on Twitter if you want to see it in real time. Of course, I'm talking about media days for the Big 12. Oh, no, wait, I wasn't talking about that. So it was the Olympics. That's going on. I haven't watched anything. I think the only thing I've really seen is the medal count, because that's all I really care about. Woo! Don't care about the stories around the players. Don't care about who grew up in Colorado, who grew up in East New York, and there's a backstory with drama and stuff. Leave that for the ladies. I just want to know if we won or who's going to win and stuff like that. But I'm not even really actively trying. I'm just passively, whatever floats around these purple eyes and sticks into my brain is what happens with that. So I'm not even like really trying to watch the Olympics. I see it at the gym. That's about it. So yay Olympics. Yay London. But there is the bigger news item that happened in the last week of college football, and that unfortunately are not media days. I'll get to that eventually, but the hammer has dropped pretty hard, and both sides of the stories are making their case whether or not it was good or bad or not. I'm of course talking about Penn State. Yeah, NCAA came down hard on them. I'm sure everyone out there has heard about it already. What can you do, right? You cover up a molester, and you turn it on and you don't watch, and you build on a legacy instead of trying to maybe protect children. And then you have the NCAA coming out and pretty much superseding their procedure and charter for this special case, and dropping some punitive actions on them. You know, $60 million, 4-year bowl ban, scholarships gone, kids can transfer. They're pretty much just like, and they got the okay from presidents, and they got the okay from the Penn State president. So it was just all like, yeah, let's just do it now, get rid of it. And I guess it came down to a choice between, do you want to have football go away for 2 years or 4 years, or do you want to have to be so crippled that there's no way you can compete but still have football and pay some money and stuff. Being the football town that Penn State was, or Happy Valley was, yeah, they chose to keep playing football because really that's all they care about over there. I mean, really, they probably should have shut it down, but we don't expect them to do the right thing now, do we? Flashlight shone on those asses. Yeah. So, and yeah, you're going to get the apologists, you're going to get other people complaining, hey, due process, the people who are affected weren't even, like, charged, no longer working there, what about the kids, all this other stuff, you know, and they tried to handle all of that, and I don't know, the only thing that's really worrisome is now that the NCAA is wielding this hammer, they've got to make sure that it's responsibly used. I know I've complained about how the NCAA was pretty weak, and really it was just pretty useless when it came to anything really, including paying the players. Hey, but they've asserted themselves here, and now that kind of specter of of authority is going to be shown from them here on out, and now they're going to be expected to behave in manners when other cases come up. So I mean, they made this choice, and now they're going to have to live with it, both Penn State and the NCAA. So that's all I can say about that. So that's all gone. Anything Joe Paterno is out the door. The statue came down. The NCAA wiped out all his wins in the record book, so he could be like 8th or 10th. They don't want him to be remembered at all. That's pretty brutal. So, but I mean, you could say, oh, he just made one mistake, but I mean, like, people have been in jail for making one mistake. Whether or not it's murder, manslaughter, or whatever. It happens. A mistake happens. Whether you're negligible or liable, some people got molested, some people died, something happened. You still got to be responsible for it. There's an air of responsibility across the board. And for as much as Penn State tried to protect Joe Paterno's legacy and have him be such a stalwart figure, the one thing that he should have done was stand up and do this, and he didn't. And goodbye record. I mean, I guess the only redeeming factor for that guy is that at least it happened after he died and not while he died. So he probably won't even never know like what all this stuff's happening. So he'll probably take the thought of what he didn't do he probably took that to the grave. But after that, whatever he's got to answer to, real or not real, that's all out the window. So, enough bumming out. Let's get back to some sweet, sweet college football. Ironic, I go from football poisoning the minds and having an air of responsibility back to talking about how awesome college football is and how much I love it. So, I love irony. Big 12 Media Days. It happened, it went right in the middle of all of the stuff that happened at Penn State. So nobody knew really except for me and some other people just what happened. Which really just the coaches came up and talked some smack, except for Bill Snyder. I don't know what the hell he did. And then they interviewed some players. Big 12 had some nice streaming options available, and they also had a good flow going. The coach would go up on stage, and then the side Big 12 guy would interview a player, and then they'd have another interview by like the roving reporter for the Big 12. So it was a bang, 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 and of course, Big 12 players made the rounds around whatever local radio was there. So it was good fun, and it's really good fun. I already talked about Kansas State being picked 6, which is kind of a joke. Geno Smith, West Virginia, is like the player of the year, I think, on offense, or just the player of the year. So, I mean, there's a lot of there's way more expectations for West Virginia than there are for TCU this year. I think TCU might actually end up doing better than West Virginia because of that fact. I think West Virginia won the Big East, but they co-won it. I mean, they needed help to do it, and it was the Big East. So they got the surprise of not used to playing other. West Virginia has the surprise factor, or the I don't even remember. Let's just say that since none of the teams in the Big 12 have played West Virginia, that could be to their advantage. But it is a better league, so it could be to West Virginia's disadvantage as well. Anyway, try to flesh out what the hell I just said. Drop a comment down below and let me know. So, that came and went. That's awesome. I think not the Big East, the ACC had their media days, and everybody's all talking about just smack about who's gonna win. I think Florida State or Clemson was picked again. Curiously enough, the two teams that were rumored to join the Big 12, which I think it was never 100% But I don't think the Big 12 is going to go back to 12 for a very long time. If they can get the money right now from the TV networks, and get record money, why go to 12? You know, it's kind of weird because I chided the Big 10 and the Pac-12, Pac-10, Pac whoever, for not having a championship game, not having an extra revenue, and all that other stuff, and as to why they're not in the national conversation a lot more than the SEC or the Big 12 when they had their championship. Because they had that game, it helped push the team over the top to get in the national championship game. Well, that really doesn't matter anymore, really. I mean, if you think of it this way, with the playoff coming and the top 4 teams, the top 4 teams going, I think, that championship game could actually hurt more than it can help, because if you lose your championship game, you could be knocked out of the top 4, which you could be. I don't know. But I'm not gonna change my mind on it yet. Oklahoma State was in conversation last year. It's really gonna take a couple of years for me to figure out whether or not it's really worth to have a straight round robin or to have a championship game with some more teams in it. So I know it comes down to money. It's a money deal, footprint dealio. But I mean, if they can get record money for what they have right now, they should just totally go for it. So that's that. Man, what else? There's just there's a bunch of other stuff. Really, it's just been blown away by the Olympics. That's kind of like I've seen all of the my tweets on the Twitters yammer on about the Olympics. That's all they're talking about this weekend. I don't care. I don't care. I'd rather have one last thing, and then I'll just close this guy out. Bold. You know what else is bold? Coaches clamoring to get Penn State recruits. Silas Red, he may be going to USC. Hey, there might be some potential violations with USC as well for that. Some guy just visited LSU. I think Bolden, the quarterback, visited LSU. There's coaches that, I guess the Illinois coaches were all in the parking lot at Penn State trying to get these kids. So you see some kids looking to leave, and then you see the other kids who are like, we are going to stay and we're awesome in solidarity and stuff like that. So it's going to be really interesting to see how all that plays out before the start of the season. It's a little late in the game to move now, but since the NCAA gave them carte blanche for their whole career, they can pretty much leave whenever they want. If I was smart, if I was an underclassman, I would say if I was a sophomore, maybe even a junior, I would wait it out and just leave in the off season. You don't need to leave right now. You might as well just play your season out. Look good, because you stuck with the team and you're all a team player and all that other stuff. Take your time and then really go back on the recruiting trail for next year. If Russell Wilson could do it for Wisconsin and play 1 year and get Wisconsin that close to a national championship game, I'm sure that these kids can go somewhere else and be the perfect fit for the program. They've taken them to the next level to go to a bowl, get better exposure, all this other stuff. So it'll be interesting. We'll watch to see how that plays out. But I mean, July is almost over. August is coming up. Camp started for NFL. God, I can't wait till the Olympics to be gone. We'll start talking previews. It's coming. I might actually write something. Surprise. I keep talking about it. So look forward to that. Keep following me at Twitter at KCCGD. And there'll be a little bit more comedy, or there's something a little bit lighter than Penn State's dirty hands and the NCAA hammer that crushed them. So follow me there, and take it easy, guys. Drink your sodas, enjoy your life, and I'll see you later.